Okay, fair enough. Well, thank you so much for joining me this morning. My name is Pannu, Investor Relations for Minaurum Gold. Today's title presentation is advancing the only permitted new silver discovery in Mexico at our Alamos Silver project in southern Sonora State. We trade on the TSX Venture Exchange under ticker symbol MGG and on the OTCQX under MMRGF. I will be making forward-looking statements throughout the presentation, so please keep that in mind. I think in order to make discoveries, you got to have a very strong technical team that has made discoveries throughout their careers, having key members made discoveries themselves or being part of a team that has made discoveries. We're lucky to have a very strong technical team put together, co-founded by Peter McGaw of Mag Silver, with his success of discovering over 200 million ounces at the Juanicipio deposit. We also have Steve Maynard, a VP of Exploration, who's been instrumental with a number of discoveries as well. He discovered the Çukurova gold deposit in Turkey, which is currently run by Eldorado Gold. We have Jerry Reynard, who discovered the Oktedi gold copper mine in Papua New Guinea. And lastly, we are very lucky to have Dr. Ruben Padilla come join our technical team as well. He's been instrumental in a number of discoveries in his career, over 40 million ounces of gold at the Colosa Gran Molote gold deposit in Colombia, as well as the Lynx deposit in the Windfall camp. We are on to our fourth gold discovery within our portfolio, which is our Alamos Silver project, which is the most advanced. It's received the most drilling in terms of permitting as well, and we're working towards a targeted maiden resource at the end of this year. As it comes down to share capitalization, we trade at 21 cents. We're a $90 million market cap. I do have to acknowledge our shareholders who are being very long-term and very loyal in terms of the support and seeing our long-term vision of finding discoveries. Over 75% of our shareholders include institutional funds such as US Global, Sprott Asset Management, Stabilitas Funds in Europe, as well as several family offices that are based in Europe as well. As far as the district scale project pipeline, we are currently working, our basic exploration approach is we want to find district scale tier 1 precious and base metals projects. So as we continue to advance our Alamos Silver project in southern Sonora State, we are looking to revolve that down towards our Santa Marta copper VMS project, which we think is part of a much larger copper VMS district, and we look towards advancing that once we receive drill permits there. When it comes down to a silver project, I think there's a few key fundamental attributes that really define what a tier 1 silver asset is. Grade is king, of course, minimum 300 grams per ton silver equivalent, the potential to be district scalable. In our case with Alamos, it's an epithermal vein system. So we have the challenge to prove, is this a mineralized vein footprint that's large, that has multiple veins spread across a large area. Size, a minimum of 50 million ounces or 80 million ounces silver equivalent for any potential mid-tier or major to have any interest for the simple reason of size and scale. And lastly, infrastructure. Do you have your social community license in place, access to water, access to roads, as well as power and labor as well? And I think our Alamos project kind of checks off all these boxes. We're expanding the 200 million ounce historical district. What we've done since 2016 as part of our exploration approach is a little bit unorthodox. We, of course, want to de-risk it from an exploration point of view, but we've worked in the background to advance in terms of infrastructure and community, as well as permitting. We are situated in a well-endowed infrastructure area. We are directly south of one of the largest copper gold producers in the state of Sonora. So with that, we, of course, leverage a lot of that infrastructure in terms of access to water. There's paved roads. We have access to the Mexican power grid, as well as through hydroelectric power as well. And I think one of the big advantages we have there is working with a group, which is the optioner of the Alamos project. We own the project 100% right now, but the optioner is the same permitting group that worked with Las Chispas and Santa Elena with Silvercrest, and they helped advance their projects in a very fast time period. So we're very lucky to work with them, where we've also worked with them to secure surface agreements with two of the ejidos and the township, which are long-term 30-year surface agreements. One key unique aspect of the Alamos Silver project is that we possess an actual MIA mining permit. This is a 30-year mining permit. It allows us for surface exploration, underground exploration, and underground exploitation. Now, we've done a lot of work on attaining this permit. It's a little bit unique, for a non-resource stage of the project, but it allows us to de-risk the project significantly much early on. So then by the time we do get a resource, we can then get a re-rate in the share price and the market cap. So this is a very unique competitive advantage that we have in terms of our Alamos Silver project. And I simply bring this up because, permitting worldwide is getting, challenging in certain jurisdictions, and what we lack in a resource estimate, we gain significantly in terms of having it being permitted for preliminary production activities. So the reason why we got into the Alamos Silver project was primarily because there's a significant historical context to the district. Over 200 million ounces of silver has been produced historically, primarily from three core mines, the Quintero, Promontorio, and Minas Nuevas mines. Our interest in the project was that although 200 million ounces of silver was produced from 1680 to around 1920 and subsequently shut down because of the silver price crash and also the Mexican Revolution, we know from historical data that underground drilling intersected significant high grade in and around the old mine workings. So our interest was not to focus on what was known, but to really see if we can find a district scalable case here and find new discoveries outside of the core main mines. So what you're looking at here is the northeast portion of our concession package, which makes up 5,000 hectares, of which 200 million ounces of silver was produced from Promontorio, La Quintera, and Minas Nuevas. And we have a total land package of 37,000 hectares. With extensive mapping, sampling, and the drill program that we commenced, we pretty much grew that mineral vein footprint to around 26 veins across the 5,000 hectare land package. What you're on the left is 2.25 square kilometers of a mineral vein footprint. We grew that to around 66 square kilometers. So this gives us the conviction that this is the district scalable, this has district scalable potential of a project. We have multiple veins across the large vein footprint that is continuous and spread across a large area. So, but what about grade? We drilled 42,000 meters and drilled 19 veins of the 26. We ended up encountering significant high grade across all those veins that we drilled. This is kind of a guide for us to kind of let us know that we are on track in terms of grade. As you can see, silver average was 315 grams per ton silver, an average silver equivalent of 492 grams per ton silver equivalent, with significant base metals. It's primarily still a silver project with 60% comprised of silver, but it's great to see those base metal credits in lead, zinc, and copper. So the next step is that we focused on district scalability. We've de-risked it from an infrastructure, community, and permitting side, and we've also looked at grade. It's given us confidence that we can now move on to the next step of focusing on an initial resource. So we've hired independent mining consultants, which will help us put together a NI 43-101 report for the end of this year. We've just started a fully funded 8,000 meter infill drill program that will focus on the first three core targets that will advance an initial resource for the end of this year. And we're starting on our Promontorio and the Promontorio surveying. As I mentioned before, this was a historical mine. It produced 70 million ounces of silver. It goes along strike for around 1.2 kilometers. We did spend a lot of work rehabbing the underground haulage level for along strike for 600 meters. From drilling, we've drilled 10,000 meters. As you can see, we've encountered significant high grade. The vein pitches and swells, but you can see significant grade of 20 meters of half a kilo silver equivalent, 3 meters of a kilo silver equivalent. What we wanted to prove here is that mineralization still extends below the oldest mine workings. Down to the south, we know that the oldest mine workings go down to 2 levels, so around 150 meters. So we ended up drilling 3 holes below those old mine workings. We extended that mineralization another 130 meters. And the grades were around 300 to 400 grams per ton silver, between 2 to 3 meters. So it gives us that confidence that this has to be one of the priority targets for us to move towards an initial maiden resource. The third target is our Europa-Guadalupe target. This was one of the earlier discovery veins that we discovered in 2017, where we hit 8.2 meters of 2 kilos of silver equivalent. And as you can see, indicated by the drill highlights there, we encountered significant other high-grade drill intersections. We then put the rig over to the east, and we then encountered the Nuevas Europa vein as well, another new vein. It's a robust vein system. The whole point of these high-grade priority targets is that with the 8,000-meter drill program, we'll put 2,000 meters to each target, tighten up the spacing to around 75 meters. That'll give us the confidence, the increase in the density as well, to move towards that initial maiden resource for Q4 2024. So outside of those core targets, we're looking long term in terms of how do we potentially grow the resource once we've announced the resource estimate at the end of 2024. We have several targets to choose from. As I mentioned, we have 20 vein discoveries that we discovered, but the next high priority target will be at Minas Nuevas. This produced around 30 million ounces of silver historically. It goes down 3 levels to around 150 meters at depth. We drilled in and around the old mine workings. We did encounter some remnant mineralization there, where we intersected 10 meters of half a kilo of silver. So this will be one of the main targets going forward, where we are planning for a resource expansion drilling program in 2025. So for new vein discoveries, we have several to choose from outside the core targets. So it just shows that there's a lot of exploration potential here. And I'm just talking about the northeast portion of our concession package, which makes up that 5,000 hectare concessions. And just to put it in perspective, on the bottom is our Alamos project. In the middle is the Corvo del Miles Piedras Verdes copper gold mine. And to the north is our Europa Gold project. As indicated by the pickaxe, we've only explored on that northeast concession portion of our large 37,000 hectare land package. When you zoom in, again, indicated by the pickaxe, we've just explored on that portion. So we've only explored literally only 15% on the package. So there's still a lot of room for growth, and that's where we're very excited, and we look forward to finding more discoveries on the project. So in terms of upcoming investor catalyst, in terms of news flow, you can expect drill results to come out in the next couple of months here from the Europa-Guadalupe, Promontorio sewer targets. We then move on to resource expansion drilling in the next year, and then proceed with generative work, continue de-risking by procuring additional water and surface rights. And then lastly, we would then roll over to our Santa Marta copper VMS target. So, yeah, thank you. Was there any questions?
Thank you, Sonny. We do have time for a question if anybody wants to ask one. Here we go, right here.
Sonny, that's an excellent map of the concessions you have with so much potential for that. And so with all that area, you have all that ready to move ahead. Is it all titled, and is it all, given the system, it should be very positive for Minaurum?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the core concessions of our land package are titled. But we do have those concessions as part of our land package as well. So we'll move on to that when the time is right.
Okay. If there's no more questions, if you could join me to thank Sonny and Minaurum
Thank
for
you.
the excellent
Appreciate
presentation.
Thank you.